Yes, fine. So here last time we have studied different last time we have studied different default inbuilt functions used in JavaScript. Okay, so we will revise it once and then we will go on the next part. Okay, because last time we have finished our last session on a program, little program we have seen. Okay, now here is a parse int was the first function which we have studied. Simply the parse int function is used to convert any string into the integer value. The second function which we have studied, that was parse float. Okay, the parse float function is used to convert any string value into floating point value. Floating value, that is a value with the decimal point. In short, we can say the value in a decimal point, if you want, that value is called as a floating value or a float value. Okay, so if you want to convert any string into decimal point value or the floating value, then by using parse float function, you can convert any string into the floating point value. But in both the functions, you can see here the first P is a small letter, but I is a capital in a parse int, whereas in a parse float function, F is a capital. Okay, so this you have to always remember that when you write parse int or the parse float, at the time which characters you have to mention in the capital letters and which characters you have to mention in the small letters, that you have to consider, because it is a JavaScript is a case sensitive scripting language. So you have to maintain this small scale capital letters, small letters in your coding. Okay, so in parse int I is capital, in parse float F is capital. It should be always capital. Now the third one is alert. Alert function or alert method is used to display an alert box. Alert box always come with only one button, that is the OK button. It is just used to alert the user that you are doing something wrong. Press OK, that error message or that alert box will remove out from your screen. Okay, so to give alert message, we are using this alert box with OK button. Okay, so alert method is used to alert user and it comes always with OK button. Next function is a prompt method of the function. Okay, this is prompt function is used to enter value or input value from user. Okay, if you want to accept any value from user, then this prompt method is used. Okay, the value which we have entered by using prompt method, that value we can assign to any variable. Okay, so see here an example is given. In this example, n is equal to prompt, and in bracket it is given in double inverted comma, enter value for n. Whatever we have enclosed in double inverted comma, that will display on a dialog box as a message. And this dialog box always comes with the text box and OK button. When user enter value in a text box and when he press on OK button, then whatever the value entered in a text box, which will assign to the variable n. Here the value entered by user will assign to n. We can assign any variable over here, but that variable must be declared first so that we can assign any value to that variable. Okay, so always declaration first come, then definition comes. Okay, so here entered value by user will assign to variable n. So the prompt method or prompt function is used to accept input from user. Now the next function is a confirm function. The confirm function is always come with the OK and cancel button. Okay, this function comes with OK and cancel button, means it displays the dialog box. It displays the dialog box, and it comes with the two buttons, that is the first button is a OK button and the second button is a cancel button. Okay, see it dialog box always comes with the OK and cancel button. When you click on the OK button, so when you click on the OK button, that confirm function returns the value true. Okay, this is very important thing of a confirm function. When you click on a OK button, then a value true is generated by the confirm function, and that value can be assigned to any variable using equal to sign. Okay, but when you click on a cancel button, at that time, a false value will be generated by the confirm function, and that value we can assign to any variable by using equal to sign. For example, here it is given that where ans, means here we are going to create an variable ans. Okay, here is variable is declared, and just below that here we are going to assign it by using confirm. So in confirm dialog box, their message will display that message we have enclosed in double inverted comma. Do you want to continue? If you press OK button, then a value true will assign to the variable ans. If we click on the cancel button, then value false will be assigned to ans. Okay, so this confirm function always returns boolean value either true or false. Okay, so alert, this function doesn't return any value. Okay, it just used to alert the user. It doesn't return any value. But when you consider the confirm function, then it always returns a value either in true or false. Okay, so this is about confirm function. Next function is to lowercase. To lowercase function is always used. Just simply convert any capital letter format text into the lower letter format. Okay, so whatever this capital letter content will convert into small scale letters. Okay, so to lowercase means to small case letter conversion. Opposite to lowercase, we are using to uppercase. To uppercase, in this function, we are converting any small scale letters text to capital letters. Okay, it is always opposite to the lowercase, to lowercase function. So here what you have to remember, that to lowercase, in to lowercase and to uppercase, there are two letters are in a capital form. In to lowercase, L and C are capital, and to uppercase, U and C are capital. Okay, here L and C are capital, here U and C are capital. Okay, this you have to remember when you write code by using these two functions. Okay, next last function we have studied, that is a isNaN. This function always used to check that the entered number is a number or not, or the entered value is a number or not. If the entered value is a number, then this function returns value false. If the value is any string, then it returns true. So it always gives output opposite, not a number. This what the condition is, that not a number. It checks condition that entered value is a number or not. If it is not a number, then it should give the value true. If it is a number, then it should give value false. Okay, so here is is NaN function which is used to check that the entered value is a number or not. Okay, so these functions we have studied in a last session. Then we jumped on a program. We had a simple program we have studied by using mathematical operations. We have studied how to concatenate the string by using plus operator. We have studied why we required parse int function, why we required prompt function. Those things we have studied in the last session. Okay, those things I will not repeat it again because the next session we have to complete. Okay, so we will jump on a notepad. Now I redirect you on the next screen, that is a notepad screen. In the notepad screen, I have demonstrated you that how we can write a program in a JavaScript. Okay, it always written inside the script and slash script. Okay, in the last session I already told you that when you write a program in a JavaScript, then must be that program must be enclosed inside script and slash script. Okay, so this portion is only JavaScript portion, and the language is an attribute which is used with the script tags to denote that this JavaScript we are using, or the next program we are going to write in a JavaScript. Okay, so whatever enclosed inside the script and the slash script, it will be the program related to JavaScript. Now in the first part here you can see, in the first part here you can see we have declared here three variables. Variables are always declared by using var statement, var space a comma b comma c. So here I'm going to declare three variables, and each variable is separated by comma. So var a comma b comma c. Each statement in a JavaScript is always ends with the semicolon. Okay, but it is not a compulsion in all browsers which are available in market. Okay, so it is optional. You can write, or if you haven't written that semicolon at the end of each sentence, even though you will get an output. Okay, so don't worry if you forget to write semicolon at the end of each statement in JavaScript. But it is the rule, or you can say it is the syntax, that each and every statement in JavaScript is always ends with the semicolon. Okay, so this is the syntax, but it is not a compulsory nowadays. So where a comma b comma c is using this statement, we have declared three different variables in JavaScript. Now the first sentence, that is a is equal to prompt in bracket enter value for a, and then we have again using the same syntax, that is a b is equal to prompt enter value for b here. Okay, so here two statements we have used, or the two functions we have used here. By using the first function of prompt method, by using first prompt function, we are accepting value for a, and in the next part we have accepting value for b from user. When user enters value for a and b, then we process it by using c is equal to a into b. This is the statement. In this statement, the right hand side there is an expression and there is a variable at the left hand side. By using c is equal to a multiplied by b, we are using multiplication over here, and then the obtained result we are going to store in a c by this equal to sign. Okay, so the expression evaluate here, whatever the value entered in A will substitute over here, whatever the value accepted in B will be substituted here, the multiplication carried, and the result will stored to C. Okay, this is the actual meaning of the sentence C is equal to A star B. Now the value obtained in this C variable, that we can display by using document.write statement. The document.write statement is a very important JavaScript. When you want to display anything on a document area, If you want to display the output, it can be do by using document.write. Okay, then how or what is the syntax of the document.write? It is simply written that in a bracket double inverted comma the multiplication is equal to double inverted comma completed, means whatever they enclose in the double inverted comma will display as it is on screen when you execute this program. And next is a plus c, means plus is used for the concatenation purpose, and c will be the substitute the value of c, means whatever the value stored in a variable c that will display here. Okay, so by using this statement or by using this document.write functions, we can display output on screen. Okay, so this was the simple program which we have studied last time. Okay, now I will do one thing here. I will check the alert message. Okay, so I write here code alert in double inverted comma. Now calculation is done. Now calculation is done. To see result, click OK. Okay, what I have written here, I'm using here alert function, and alert function I have written I have written the content. Now calculation is done. To see the result, click OK. Okay, this is the simple statement. Now I will save this statement and I will check the output. Okay, so I will redirect you in Internet Explorer. Okay, Internet Explorer. Here is the Internet Explorer. Okay, now can you see script for prompt enter value for a, this dialog box on screen? Just give me answer in a chat box. Can you see? Can you see the enter value for a and there is an undefined written? Okay. So this is the first prompt method. Whatever the value, whatever the content we have enclosed in the prompt method, that will display over here. Okay, I will show you by just marking. Okay, here you can see the enter value for a. Okay, and here you can enter the value for a. Suppose I'm entering here value 5 for a, it will assign to a. Then again it asks next dialog box, that is the enter value for b. Here you can see the enter value for b, means the prompt second prompt method is executing here. Okay, step by step each and every statement is executing here. The first statement was a is equal to prompt in bracket double inverted comma enter value for a, and next statement was b is equal to prompt in bracket double inverted comma enter value for b. Now I am on the step of second prompt method, that is a prompt in bracket double inverted comma enter value for b. Now here I have to enter value for b. I am entering here value 5. So in a I have entered 5. Okay, I will change this 6. Okay, so first in a I have stored 5 and in b I am going to store 6. So now when I click on OK button, then what happened? The value a and b is stored to a and b variable. Okay, now we will see the output what happened. Okay, here is the message. Can you see the message on screen? Now calculation is done. To see result, click OK. Yes, give me answer in a chat box. Can you see the message box or alert box on a screen? It giving message that now calculation is due. To see the result, click OK. Good. Okay, now when I click on this OK button, this is the output of alert message. This is alert message. When I click on OK button, then see what will happen. Now the output is cleared out. Okay, nothing displayed on the white area of document. When I click on the OK button, then automatically next statement is executed, that is document dot write in bracket the multiplication is equal to plus C. Now plus C means what? C is equal to A into B, right? A was 5, B was 6. We multiplied 5 and 6, that we got 30. We stored that 30 into the variable C, and by using document dot write here we have displayed it. Okay, so I want to demonstrate here only the function alert, how the alert function execute and gives the result. Second thing I want to demonstrate over here, that how you can execute one by one statement. Okay, the first statement was executed this, then this statement is executed, then this statement is executed, then this one, and then this one. Okay, here till I'm not clicking on OK, it was not going on the second or next statement. When I click on the OK button, then it goes to execute the next statement, and I saw that the multiplication is equal to 30 on screen. Okay, so this is second thing I want to explain you, that always the sequence is followed while execution any program. Okay, the program executed by sequence, step by step, one by one instructions, one instruction at a time it executes here. Okay, so here we get the demonstration of alert. Okay, now I am using this A, and here I am entering the value of A as a string. Okay, here I'm going to enter the value of A in a string as a string. Okay, so whatever the value we have entered, that will be the string in, it will store in A. Okay, now A is equal to A dot to uppercase in bracket A, or I'm doing this like C. A will be remains, okay, no problem, we will do this uppercase semicolon, and here I am doing B is equal to B dot to lowercase b. Okay, now what I will do, I will write or enter value A as a string, and I will convert it into uppercase, and the converted string is going to stored in A itself. Again I am doing in this statement, I am again entering a value in a B, and I will convert it into lowercase by using this statement. The value of B will converted into lowercase, and that will be stored into B. Okay, so I am doing these things, that I am going to convert this and storing on in this same variable, that is a B. Okay, so I will check the output and I will display it. Now I don't want this alert message, so I'm removing this alert message. Now document.write the converted string is in capital. Okay, here it will be A. The same statement I am using for B. Control C, and here I am writing Control V. Now the converted string is small scale, in small scale. Okay, now here it will be. Okay, now we will check the output by saving this file. Save. Now we'll check the output. So here I'm going to refresh it. Okay, enter the value for A. So I'm writing this value Amol Parab. Okay, so I press OK. Again, second value. Here is the second value is this G capital P capital. I press OK. Now, here is the converted string I got as an output. The converted string in a capital. I was entered it in Amol Parab as a small scale, right? But it is converted into capital letters. And I entered Gaurish Paradkar. G was capital and P was capital. But now everything is in small scale. Okay, so by using two lowercase and by using two uppercase, these two functions, we can convert any string into capital or small letters. Okay, so again, I want to redirect you on the notepad. See how I wrote this instruction. You know very well that to uppercase is a function, right? To uppercase is a function, and on which value I want to apply this function, you can write either here or here. Okay, a dot to uppercase A or to lowercase b. If you don't write this, then also you will get output. We will check it. I'm not writing over here. Okay, I remove that A dot and B dot and I'm checking the output. File, save, refresh. Here Amol Parab. Here Gaurish. I'm writing all its capital. And we will check. No. Okay, means it says that okay, let me know what you can see. What you can see on a screen, program or output. Yeah, just write me in a chat box what you can see, a program or output. Let me know. Program. Okay. Okay, okay. So here is the program. Now what I am doing, I removed here a dot to uppercase and b dot to lowercase. Okay, now we will check that we get output or not. Okay, so I save this and now we'll check. Okay, now here I'm going to refresh it. When I refresh it, I write here Amol, then Gauresh, and now we'll check that I'm getting output or not. Okay, if I'm not getting output, then I have to change the code. Can you see the output? No. Okay, means our syntax is wrong. Okay, so we have to open notepad and we have to write a dot and here b dot. Okay, now why the a dot I'm using? See, this concept is called object. This concept is called object. Now this object a is an object and to uppercase is a function. We are going to execute this function on this object. We are going to execute this function on this object. How it is? Just like we are executing write method on document object, write function on document object. Okay, so the function and object is always separated by the function and object. The function and object is always separated by dot. The function and object always separated by dot. The function and object always separated by dot. Okay, so object and functions are assigned by using the dot operator. Okay, so dot operator is nothing but used to add any function to an object. Okay, so here two uppercase, two lowercase is a function, and by using these two functions, we execute it on these two different object, and then we will get result. That result we stored in A. Yes, Harshad, very good, very nice atmosphere you have. And here B dot to lowercase b. Here we are going to convert or where we are applying this function on B. Okay, so by using this function and object, by using the function and object combination, we can convert uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase. When we get output by this much portion, when we get output by using this part, it will store to the same variable a. Okay, after solving the expression of this statement, we are getting result that we assign to b. So whatever value stored in A and value B, we displayed here by plus A and plus B. Plus is a concatenation operator, and here we are using the value to display the result whatever stored in this A and B. Okay, so two uppercase and two lowercase are used to convert any string from uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase. Okay, so again we are going to write a new code for last function, that is a confirm. Okay, so now we'll check the confirm function. For confirm function, we don't want the prompt. I'm using here only a, and here I'm going to write confirm in the double inverted comma, are you confirm? Okay, here is the question, and here I'm going to display what will be the value in a. So I remove this statement. So what is the program here? The script language is equal to JavaScript, where a means here I'm declaring the variable a, and in that variable I'm going to store the value by evaluating this function by using confirm function. When I press on OK button, then the value generated will be true. When I can click on cancel button, the value generated will be false. Okay, and that true or false value will stored in a, and I will check what the value is now in a. Okay, so I save this file, save, and I will check the output in Internet Explorer. So here is the Internet Explorer. I refresh program. So what we can say, see here, are you confirm? Okay, this question I have written in a confirm function, and the inside the confirm inside bracket I have written this, are you confirm? Either okay, I can click on okay, or cancel button. When I click on OK button, then the true value will be generated and stored into A. When I click on a cancel button, then false value will be generated and stored in A. Okay, so I place on OK button. When I click on OK button, the converted string is capital is equal to true. Okay, so when I click on OK button, then the converted string is in capital true is displayed on screen. Okay, again I refresh this. When I click on a cancel button, then the converted string is in a capital false. Okay, again I'm displaying this, showing the program by using some other media. Okay, now check this. Now see, this is the message box. Are you confirm? I click on a OK button. When I click on a OK button, then the converted string is in a capital is equal to true. True value is displayed here. Again refresh this program, and I press on a cancel button. So when I click on a cancel button, then the converted string is in a capital is equal to false displays on screen. Okay, so by using the confirm function, we can generate two value, either true or false, by clicking OK or cancel button. When I click on a OK button, the value true is generated. When I click on a cancel button, then value false will be generated. Okay, so this is about true and false. Okay, now the next part is a decision making statement. It is a very important decision making statement. Okay, decision making statements are used to execute the program when there you have to check any condition. Okay, means A less than B. Is A less than B? If it is less than, then write it is less than. If it is not less than, then write it is not less than. When you execute any condition, then two values come, either true or false. Okay, so I'm showing this if condition. If condition is true, then statement block will execute. If condition false, then next statement of statement block will execute. Okay, I'm explaining this part. See, now see here. If in bracket some condition we have to give. Then opening curly bracket, statement 1, statement 2, closing of curly bracket. Okay. And next statement is statement 3. Now see what happened. If condition, if condition evaluates to true, then the first curly brackets means whatever the block, curly bracket block will execute. If condition false, then next statement of block will execute. Okay, this concept again I am making more easy. Now here is a statement 1 and here is a statement 2. Now see, this what the if condition says, the syntax of if condition says that if condition evaluates to true, then statement 1 will execute. If condition is true, then statement 1 will execute. If condition is false, then statement 1 will not execute. Understood what it says? If condition is true, then statement 1 will execute. If condition is false, then statement 1 will not execute. Okay, this is the thing you have to always keep in mind, how if condition execute. How if condition execute. Okay, what the condition, if condition says? If condition says that if whatever the condition inside that evaluates to true, then statement 1 will execute. If the same condition evaluates to false, then statement 2 will execute, but statement 1 will not execute. Okay, but if the condition evaluates to true, then statement 1 will execute and statement 2 will also execute. If condition evaluates to true, then statement 1 will execute as well as statement 2 will execute. But if condition evaluates to false, then statement 1 will not execute but statement 2 will execute. Okay, understood what I said? It is a very important part to understand if condition. If you understand this part, then only you can do the program related to if statement, if else statement, if else if statement. Okay, so this is the basic part of condition statement. Okay, so you have to understand this very clean, very purely, means if you understood this part, then only you can do other program. So neatly you have to concentrate over here what or how the condition checking is done and how control jumps from one part to other. Okay, now see here, if condition is true, then statement 1 will execute, statement 2 will execute. If condition false, then statement 1 will not execute but statement 2 will execute. Now I am doing one thing, I am doing a change over here. I am using here a opening curly bracket and I am closing here this curly bracket. Now what is said that if condition is a true, then this block will execute, and after this block I am writing the statement here, statement 3. Okay, now see here, if condition, then this block, this particular block, I will show you the block. Okay, this block start from here to here, means statement 1 and statement 2 comes in a block. Why? Because they are enclosed in the curly bracket. Okay, they are enclosed in a curly bracket, so I can say this is the block. Now the meaning of the condition will be changed. Now how will be the meaning? If condition is true, means if condition evaluates to true, then statement 1, statement 2 will execute and statement 3 will execute. Means all statements will execute when condition is true. But if condition evaluates to false, then statement 1 and statement 2 will not execute, but control execute the statement 3. Understood this part? Okay, see, concentrate over here. If condition evaluates to true, then statement 1 will execute, statement 2 will execute, and statement 3 will also execute. When condition evaluates to false, then directly control jumps to statement 3. Statement 1 and statement 2 will not execute if condition evaluates to false. Okay, then this block is considered as a true block and this statement is considered as a false block. Okay, when I write here like this, else, I write here else. Now what will happen? If condition evaluate to true, if condition evaluates to true, then statement 1 and statement 2 will execute, but statement 3 will not execute. But statement 3 will not execute. If condition evaluates to false, then statement 1 and statement 2 will not execute, but statement 3 will execute. But statement 3 will execute. Okay, where in very clearly manner I am explaining over here. See here, if condition evaluates to true, then statement block, first statement block will execute. If condition evaluates to false, then the next part of else will execute. Okay, means if the condition evaluates to true, then statement block will execute and control jumps to the next statement of here. Consider here is a statement. Suppose here is a one statement, that is a statement 2. Okay, here is a statement 2. Okay, now if condition evaluates to true, then statement block first will execute and control jumps to execute statement 2. If condition evaluates to false, then statement block means this part will not execute. Directly control jumps to this section means statement block second. Okay, this execute and control jumps to execute statement 2. Mean this and that way statement 2 will execute. This and that way statement 2 will execute, but this condition decide either this part will execute or this part. This part or this part. This else this. Okay, this block is always known as true block. Similarly, this block is always known as false block. Okay, this block is true block, this block is false block. Why this block is called false block? Because when condition evaluates to false, then only this block will execute. If condition evaluates to true, then this block will execute. So it is called true block and the next is called false block. Okay, so these things you have to always keep in mind, that if condition evaluates to true, then the first part will execute. If condition evaluates to false, then the next part of true part will execute. Okay, so we will check this part with the flow chart. Okay, now here we are going to draw a flow chart. Now see here, this is the flow chart of if structure. Okay, in this flow chart always comes flow from upper to lower section, right? Now in this if condition, condition always comes inside. Okay, so condition always comes inside this. So condition, C-O-N. So condition always comes inside this condition block. Now here two values comes. Here two values comes. Here first value and here second value. Here we can say this part is for no or false, or this part is for yes or true. Okay, now here I am using one arrow and here I am using second arrow, right? This execute true block. So I'm writing here true block. So already written here true block. Now I'm writing here false block. False block. Okay, now I'm explaining this much part. See this much part. Only concentrate on this much part. Okay, only concentrate here in this much part. Okay, now see if flow comes from upper portion. Here is the condition block. The condition have two values. When you check the condition, then there may be two values, either true or false. Either true or false. When it is true, then the true block will execute or true block is executing. And when it false, then the false block is executing. Okay, so this portion is a true portion and this portion is a false portion. So condition block is always denoted by this condition block is always denoted by this rhombus shape. And the condition always written inside. This condition has two sections, right section and left section. The right section of condition is always false, or you can also assign true to the right as per your wish, but always one side is a true and other side is a false. When it is true, then here you have to write code for true block. When it is false, here you have to write the code for false block. Okay, this much part you have to consider because you have to write code related or using this type of condition blocks. Okay, so by using if statement, we can execute any condition, we can evaluate any condition, and the result of evaluation process and gives two different evaluation result, either true or false. If you go for true, then true block will execute. If you go for false, then false block will execute. Okay, so by using true and false, two different result, we can execute two different blocks. Okay, so condition having two different values, that is true and false, right? So by using this true and false block, we can study different programs over here. Okay, now here is a simple program. See, in this program, I start with the doc type HTML. Here is the HTML tag, here the head tag, title, even, odd, slash title and slash head. Now here body start, body BG color is equal to green, means the background color of body is configured here as a green. Now the heading tag is used, H1 tag to just give heading, H1 program to check number is even or odd. Means here we are going to check that the entered number is a even or odd, right? Now here script language is equal to JavaScript. Here actually program of scripting is started, means JavaScript started. Where a comma b, here we are declaring two different variables a and b. Here a is equal to prompt enter the value, enter your value. Here we are entering value for a. In parseInt e, by using the parseInt functions, we are converting this a into integer and store it into b. Means in b we are storing. Yes, anyone's mic is unmuted. Yes, check. Someone has unmuted its mic. Okay, so here is a prompt enter your value, b is equal to parseInt a. Now here I'm going to write the condition. If in bracket b mod to double equal to 0, means whatever the value stored in b, when you divide the b value of b by 2, then the remainder comes, by using mod operator, remainder comes. That remainder is 0 or not. If the remainder is 0, then you can say the entered number is even, else you can alert the entered number is odd. Because see, when you have to find even number, then the remainder, when you divide it by number 2, then the remainder should be 0. Okay, means 4 is a even number. 4 is a even number. How you found it? 4 divide by 2. When you divide 4 by 2, then the remainder is 0. 2 to the 4. 4 minus 4, 0. So here remainder is 0. Means if you are getting remainder as a 0, then that number is even. But if remainder is not 0, then either it may be 1, 2, 3, or any more number. Okay, but not 0, then that number is odd. Means suppose 3 is a number. When you divide the 3 by 2, 2 ones are 2. 3 minus 2, that is 1. So remainder is 1. So if remainder is a 1 is equal to 0, means 1 not equal to 0, means here equal to signs used to check that the value found in the expression is 0 or not. If the expression evaluates and the result obtained is not 0, then else part will execute. But the evaluation gives the 0 value. So 0 equal to 0 means here this condition is becoming true. If the condition becoming true, then you have to give result that is a true block. You have to execute this true block, that is the alert number is even, because before the else always comes true part and after the else always comes false part. Okay, so this is the false part, this is the true part. Now one question will come in your mind that where is double invert curly brackets. Okay, so always keep in mind when you have to write a single sentence, then there is no need to write a curly bracket. But when you are going to write in number of statements in a block, then compulsory you have to enclose those in a curly bracket. Okay, so when you have to use curly brackets, when more than one statement is there in a true block or a false block. When there is more than one statement in a true block or a false block, there should you have to use curly bracket. But if there is a single statement in true block or a false block, then there is no need to enclose it in a curly bracket. Okay, why we have to write an extra thing wherein not required? Okay, so if the curly bracket is not required, then don't use over there. Okay, if you are using more than one statement, you have to use the curly bracket, otherwise the program will give error. Okay, so that is syntax. So this is the program by which we can check that the entered number is even or odd. Okay, so this program is very important. In last year examination, this program was asked for 5 marks. Okay, so this program is a very important to check that the entered number is even or odd. Okay, so up to this part, we have covered that how we can write a if condition. Now we will do some programs related to if conditions on tomorrow, not tomorrow, on Tuesday. Okay, so on Tuesday we will check that different programs, how we can write the programs related to if structure. So now I'm going to finish the session. Okay, and we will meet on Tuesday. Okay.